How you doing, Derick?
Donnie Glover, just want to show everyone you ain't the only one representing.
Oh, I ain't. Would you? Oh, you got the backdrop.
Come on, man. I'm doing the Walbrook,
Okay,
Warrior Nation. I can't let you get away with that Dunbar stuff, man, without me at least coming back. I've been rivaling them guys my whole life.
It's okay. It's okay. Hey, man.
First of
We
all,
got.
let's do our quick introduction. We want to welcome everyone to the Derick and Donnie Talk Show podcast, uh, which we affectionately call it the Pulse. We two guys from Baltimore City, the Easterwood community and Sandtown communities of Baltimore. And we've always had a vested interest in what's going on, not only in our city, but the world around us. And hopefully, as this grows, that's what we pray, and we know it will, that we'll create a platform for, regular folk, because I believe there's a lot of folk out there don't think we have a real pulse on what's happening around us. So welcome. We're glad to have you. Now I'm gonna let my main man get us into our segments. What's up, Don?
Hey, man. I just wanted to thank the good Lord for another day in the land of the living.
Woo, woo, man. That's heavy.
God been good to us, man. He done
Woo.
carried us through another week.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people ain't make it. Shucks.
Yes,
Here in
sir.
Baltimore, man, I think it was a quadruple shooting, 3 young boys, and the elder ended up being saved.
Mm. Yeah, it's just it's too common, Don. And we've talked about this a whole lot. You still with me?
Yeah.
We've talked about this a lot in terms of what's happening in the city, and the narrative that's being painted out there. Uh, and this is a platform and a forum where Don and myself we'll tackle those issues from our perspective, which is not a political perspective, but a citizen caring Baltimorean perspective that we've taken the time to stay in tune to what's going on around us. So Don, what we doing? What we talking about first? Oh, I got some stuff to get off my chest.
I'm the producer. I'm merely in this for the ride.
Oh boy, here we go.
But the first thing up, according to the producer, is I'm supposed to get your thoughts on the Mosbys.
Oh boy. All right. The Marilyn Mosby. So let's do this first, just in case there's a couple people. Marilyn Mosby was indicted on 2 counts of perjury and 2 counts of making false statements. Let me repeat that. Marilyn Mosby was indicted on 2 counts of perjury and 2 counts of making false statements. Now, before we get into the rights or wrong or whatever our opinions are, Don, I first would like to say there's a couple things that need to be pointed out that I think why and how we got here. Marilyn Mosby spearheaded the prosecution of Baltimore City Police Department. I'm going to say department. Of course, there was a couple officers. And a Freddie Gray murder in West Baltimore. Okay? So this was a landmark, nationally watched case that had a lot of emotion around it. And she stood. 2, and I'm saying this for myself because I'm married to one, she's a black woman. She's a black woman. Let me say that. That I would argue that has ascended in Baltimore City to be, in my opinion, now I'm not saying that today, obviously, because of the charges that's been levied against her, but one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful political figure in Baltimore City. And here's a couple reasons why. Marilyn Mosby, like I said, one, Freddie Gray. Two, she's been implementing the sentencing reform that in particular addresses juveniles that was convicted as juveniles, given life sentences with no real shot to re-enter society. With this came great political damage to her. Second of all, without me going all over the place, I want people to know that this is Donnie, correct me if I'm wrong, what I read, this whole juvenile re-sentence and sentence reform in general that the nation was put under was led by Republicans. Let me say that again. Led by Republicans. Okay. Marilyn Mosby, for us as a people in the city, we need to understand what's really happening here. Marilyn Mosby has ascended to have too much power. Let me say that again. Marilyn Mosby has too much power and influence, and she ruffled a whole lot of feathers in this city. And most of them, the feathers she ruffled was for the average person. She was really an advocate for the average person. She ain't never said nobody was wrong or shouldn't be convicted or shouldn't be sentenced or shouldn't be held accountable. We just said sentences should be fair and equitable. So as a result, I want people to understand what happens when you ascend to that kind of power is that people, when they really get mad, they'll look at a loan application, and I don't know about anybody else. And I pray that I ain't broke no laws because I ain't trying to. It never was my intent. But this just me. Knowing Donnie like I know him, he probably read all the pages in the loan applications he signed over the years. But, Donnie, I'm just a regular guy, and I want you to know I ain't read every line and every page of loans that I have signed, even the mortgage. And I'm sure, Donnie, if you wanted to look real hard at some things I've signed over the years and draw a conclusion, you could. So I'm saying this because to our listeners that there's a lot of people that has to understand what's happening here. And this can happen to any of us. I read a Fox 45 poll today, Donnie. Fox 45 poll said 95% of their pollsters said, yes, Marilyn Mosby should resign. 95%. It's Fox poll. My only question is, who did the poll? Who were the police? Who are these people that made up this 95 percentile? Because that don't sound right to me, Donnie. That sounds like somebody pushing a narrative. And this is where we have to start coming together just a little bit more unified as a people to understand that there's some information, man, that we have to vet, that we got to go another layer just to see how valid it is. And I'm telling you, 95% people said this should be resigned. I'm not saying the poll is inaccurate. I'm just saying the people I've talked to, it don't add up to 95%.
She's not going to resign.
Okay.
Unless she's forced to, unless she has no other choice. She's showing no signs whatsoever of resigning. She's showing certain signs of getting ready for the June 28th primary election.
Okay. I agree, but I'm telling this is clearly a campaign.
Those are Fox people.
Yeah, but you know how I am, Don. We talk about it all the time. Our people better start listening to Fox. It's just me, but you might want to flick on Fox sometime because I do. Because I damn sure would like to know what they talking about or thinking. See, that's the problem. Sometimes, man, we pigeonhole ourselves and just want to get one stream of information, that we only want to listen to one source. And as a result, we can't even understand the thinking of somebody on the other side of the aisle. See, America was always based on, Donnie, well, and I'll let you jump on, but it's like we forgot that America was always the grand experiment. Always. And we're in it. We're in it, man. Come on, Donnie. Of course they're going to get her out of there. And I hope you're right. And of course, because you know what? Because she's tough and she's built like that. Now, for anybody who may listen to this, say, oh, Marilyn Mosby guy right there. Oh, was his axe to grind? He's a supporter. Look, man, I'm just very practical in what I observe, how I digest it. And I'm saying, don't get it twisted that this is a Black woman in power in a city that is a mess. Let's call it what it is. The political landscape in my beloved Baltimore City, and I say beloved because I love it, is a mess. And she's probably been the strongest political figure we've had in a couple of years. That's really standing up for some things that can impact low to moderate income people in this city. Let's call it what it is, man. Who she been extending a hand to are not considered constituents. You like that one, Donnie? They're not constituents. So as a result, they're not supposed to have a voice. So as a result, our neighborhoods and city blocks and all that is a mess, man. As a result, we have a Caucasian who will commit the same crime and will get 10 years, and a minority gonna get 40 years. And we just trying to balance that out, man. You know, so I'm just watching this, Donnie, with a lot of I'm just a real close observer of what's happening here, because this is going to tell us a lot, because we are in a all-out power struggle for this country. The democratic values, as we say, are on notice. The one thing I will say, Donnie, is I'll give the forefathers credit who wrote the Constitution and all those beautiful things and the Bill of Rights. Listen, one thing they had, Donnie, in my opinion, is foresight. Because all that was written for, they knew one day we will have a Trump-like. And when that day comes, it will be tested. See, we've been in this bubble, man. As a country, we've been in this big bubble where, long as it make us feel good, we feel good about ourselves, we pretty much okay. But we always live with that elephant in the room. I've gotten into some heated debate, and some of it, even me and you, Don, when I gave my opinion that I think we're going to look back, and some people will say, Derick, crazy, which I am. One day we're going to look back, and one of the most influential presidents in American history is going to be no other than Donald freaking Trump. Look at Donnie, look at that. I can't wait for him to jump on this one. And why do I say that, Donnie? Because Trump did what in my lifetime no president has ever done, in my opinion. He put on notice on the grandest stage, the global stage, what we've always been as a country, how the country really, really, really feel. And whether you disagree, and Lord knows I ain't no Trump supporter or apologist, but you can't argue what he's brought out in this country, which will allow us, I believe, to move forward. But like anything else, man, you got to go through it. And we in the go through it phase. And just look around the world. Everything is, we got to go through it, man, because in my lifetime, Donnie, I think people who never ascended, and I mean people, I want to say certain demographics, and I'll include us. There was a time where we was just here, but we never ascended to any power. Well, guess what today? We got power. And there's some people who woke up one day and realized we had power, probably more than they anticipated us to obtain. So we're in a very tricky time, man. And that's what's concerning about me with the Marilyn Mosby. I know I probably went off the rails a little bit, but that's why me and Donnie drop it like this, because there's segments and formats, but we just, man, we regular dudes, man. We kicking it. But I believe that there is a force, Donnie, within this city, within our, in my opinion, a long way to go, still corrupt city, and still in our leadership, in my opinion. And I'm just saying, as far as a culture, I'm not calling out specific people because I have nothing to stand on, but I'm saying we have a corrupt culture. How about that? The Baltimore City political landscape, we have a corrupt culture. Go ahead, Don.
Okay, so I want to get your thoughts because we got a few more minutes, and then I got a couple of surprises for you.
Okay.
One is recreation centers.
Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
Yesterday, you and I talked about recreation centers, how they were the center of our community.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's probably the most unfortunate thing, the breakdown in our community, more than anything. One of the most critical functions in our community and our youth, Donnie, when we came up, I mean, probably smack dead center in our community for all of us young people were the rec centers, man. We lived in the rec centers. And methodically, with purpose, I believe, the rec center has all been eliminated in terms of how it affects communities. That rec centers were as important in the community when I came up as the market was. When you got, I mean, the rec centers had that much influence over youth. In some cases, the rec centers and its leaders have more influence over us as kids as some of our parents. And you know I'm not lying, Donnie. I mean, if you think about, we talked about some of the rec leaders that we were affected by. And they were no nonsense. They were, man, we stood tall, straightened up, yes, ma'am, all that came with it. We did not play with them. And we knew they had the green light. And guess what else they had? They had the power. And you know what that power was? That power would say, you can't come to the rec tomorrow. And that was devastating for us back then. Don, devastating. Do not suspend me from the rec. I'll mop the floor. I'll clean around the belt, but please. And even when I got suspended from the rec, you know what I did on them days? I stood outside of the rec door and watch my friends go in and out, even though I couldn't go in the rec. You know where I was, Donnie? I was at the rec. It is a travesty, man. And not only with the rec centers, they even, picture this, Donnie. We went to the recs freely. We didn't need 2 cents, not 1 penny. It was ours. It was my rec. You know what I'm saying? I had ownership over that, man. I'm telling you, man, these kids in the inner city, poverty is, God knows what that percentage is. And they still need $5, $10 to go to the rec. It's unbelievable, man. There's no rec. I know of a couple rec leaders, man, you know, that's still hanging in there, man. My guy, Paul, and man, down Betlow, of course. This dude's all over the city. I could go on and on. There's a couple dudes that we know dying that's still in the trenches. Arnold Ross, all these guys still down there where I came up coaching and still trying to make a difference. But that's very unique now. That's not, Don, and help me, Donnie, because I'm not even going to say, is Cecil Kirk, is all of them still open? Would they be classified as rec centers now, or are they just buildings where a couple people can go in and out, but they're not functioning rec centers?
I want you to hold that question because we have a guest coming on at the midway point.
Good.
That has some insight at least on one recreation center.
Yes, sir.
And so the one other topic that I wanted to get your feedback on with just a couple of minutes left in this segment.
Go ahead.
Is what do you think of U.S., Russia, U.S., Ukraine? What are your thoughts?
Well, I know we touched on in our last podcast, but people just go another layer a little deeper. What's going on with Russia, Ukraine, and the United States for me is very simply, for the average person, because I ain't no political scientist, let me say that. I'm a guy just stay in tune with what's happening around me, and I suggest a lot of other people do the same because there's a lot happening around us these days. But what's happening is, let me take you back a little history lesson. Do we remember when Russia tried to put some missiles in Cuba?
The Bay of Pigs. We were babies.
So let me tell you, do you remember when Russia tried to put missiles in Cuba, which is approximately 50 miles, 100 miles from us? I don't know. Anyway, that's like them basically moving into Florida. Okay? Now go back to Russia.
We didn't like that.
We ain't like it at all. And guess what? We'll never be friends with Cuba. I don't care who they put down there. We'll never trust them again. Not us. I'm surprised. You know what? The one thing that I am surprised about, Donnie, is that the United States of America, we ain't took Cuba yet. But anyway, that's what's happening in Russia, man. It used to be the USSR. Ukraine had more culture rich in the Russia than Mother Russia that was standing right there. Ukraine is the history, people. That's the culture. That's the fabric. They the ones who broke off. Now, let's spin it forward to NATO, because I know we got to finish the segment up. Then you got NATO. Remember when Trump was in there? Trump told him, man, I ain't giving you no damn guns unless you give me $20. That's my man. That's Trump. That's how he rolled. Right? So imagine Donnie and Easterwood. I'm in Sandtown. Right? We all Baltimore City. But one day, the city said, we break it up. And instead of West Baltimore, East Baltimore being a part of Baltimore, West Baltimore is now called Sandtown City. East Baltimore, they stayed Baltimore City. But we still border each other. Now, I'm calling the DC guys and I'm saying, look, we want to take over some more ground. Listen, man, this politics 101. Russia, we almost forced them to make that move. Because if Russia don't make that move, we up in there shortly. Oh, we coming. We were trying to get right there in this back door. And Putin, in my opinion, say, hell to the no. To the no. Just do a little history, man. That's what I think of Russia, United States, and Ukraine. And I am not a political scientist. What's that, brother chat? Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. $150 per child for summer camp. And you're right. And it used to be free. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's outrageous. It acts our kids out. It forces the kids to go right where they are. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing because they done forced them with the squeezy for them to incorporate them kids. Let me get them a hand. Wow. Thank you. Somebody going to teach the kids how to be young businessmen. Get out of here.
You know what I want to say is that back in 1973, they shoved the Maryland State Lottery down our throats. They said that they were going to use the money for education. That was 1973, $15 billion.
Well, Donnie, in fairness to my beautiful state of Maryland, they did use the money for education. It was the education on how to become a proficient gambler.
$15 billion has been garnered from the Maryland State Lottery, yet we have classrooms in Baltimore City with icicles in the wintertime and so hot in the summertime they got to send the young people home. I think it's a crying shame in this 9-1 Democratic city, 2-1 Democratic state.
Say that again, Donnie, please.
9-1, because they always tell black people be Democrat. We're 9-1 Democrat.
And you're a bad guy. If you're a bad guy, you tell them you're Republican.
Yeah, but you got 9-1 Democrats. So we voted for all of our lifetime. Our parents, us, we voted for people that do not serve our interests.
Correct.
That's all I'm saying. Why am I voting? Why am I loyal to somebody who's constantly cheating on me?
Yeah, but guess what, though, Donnie? But you're right. But on the flip side of that, Donnie, if you never see, that's why I say it's as a community, we've been conditioned to not invest in, like you said, holding people accountable. I find it very interesting. If you can look up and see how your city councilmen, people don't know this, how they vote, what they voted for, and you will be surprised how many of them are absent voters. They didn't even vote on your behalf at all because they was up at the Poconos or something. I don't know. I was amazed to find how many absentee votes there was. But anyway, I agree, Doc. It's just a major, major concern. The city, we just need real dialogue. Our leadership got to really talk to people who connected to communities, man. I mean, really have a pulse on their communities. How you're not talking to coaches of youth leagues? How you not? I don't get it. But you got all, and you always say it, Donnie, people who don't have a clue making all of the decisions, and they don't have a clue, man. They don't have a pulse. They just don't get it. But one thing they can bank on, unfortunately, is that as a community, we've never held any of our leadership accountable.
So look here, partner. I told you I got a surprise for you.
Well, I'm glad that somebody's willing to talk to us.
I'm gonna make you smile, homeboy. First of all,
Coach.
Put your seatbelt on. We just getting started, partner.
Good to talk to you, bro.
Hey,
oh my. See, Donnie, you would think that I made this stuff up. I said, if you ain't talking to these guys, then you ain't talking to nobody, man. These guys in the trip, man, I love you dudes, man. Oh my gosh. Go ahead, Donnie. Do your thing, man. Where is Donnie? There you go.
I set the table for you. I gotta go get me some more tea. Rodell, tell them what's going on with the Rex.
What's up, brother Derick?
Hey, it's good to see you, brothers, man.
Man, yes, sir, brother.
Bro, Donnie made me wear my hat in the house, man. Put that dumbbell stuff on, man. I couldn't have it.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We'll always be competitive.
Yes, sir.
Made you have to step up, huh?
You know what I mean, Troy?
I got a poly hat.
There we go, baby. There we go, baby.
Yeah,
There we go, baby.
Well, I got a red that Edmondson had. I got red storm up in here I can find,
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't have no St. Francis gear, so I just put my daughter poly hat on.
Hey, bro, they wouldn't let us come over there back in the day. We
yes,
can go over there.
I'm a humble employee over there,
Oh, you over St. Francis?
I'm on the St. Francis team. I'm the voice.
Okay, so listen to this, right?
Academy Sports.
Listen to this. St. Francis have a Hall of Fame, right?
Okay.
And we're not on there, so that's bogus.
Hey, Troy.
Yes, sir.
Doing your thing, brother. Hey, man, I'm waiting for you to do that Wizards game, bro. That's what's on next.
Well, I've had some inquiries with them and with John Harbaugh with the Ravens.
My man.
And because Bruce Cunningham is my mentor in sports. And when he retired from the job, he called me and I went over to the station and he gave me the phone number to Kevin Byrne, who at the time was vice president of community relations. And he did the hiring and firing for that position. And so I did inquire about that PA announcer position with the Ravens, but they had decided to go with the guy from Navy.
Okay.
And so he wound up with the job.
Okay.
But this past fall, I talked to John Harbaugh again, and he heard me do a St. Francis football game. And he asked me for my card, and he said he would get it to the people who need to know. And I said, okay, do what you do.
Bro. You got divorced, bro. You got it.
So I'm positive, man.
We claiming it, bro. Good to see you. Go.
But, but even bigger than that, it's, Derick, it's about our television show, our youth sports show, which is Urban Sports Beat, and giving back to our young people in Baltimore who desperately need to be inspired and motivated and understand that what you're doing, you need to keep doing that. Don't give up and start getting caught up in what's going on sometimes in the neighborhood. Stay focused, man. It will happen. And so that's why we put highlight on those kids. We talk to them, we interview them, we put them on TV because our show airs on My TV Baltimore, which is part of Fox 45. The network allows me to do the things that we do. And and one of the things that I emphasize to them is the importance of education. That's your ticket out. That's your silver spoon. That can take you in any direction that you want to go. And, staying humble and staying focused and not getting caught up in those things that don't mean nothing. You see them on Instagram and they flaunting all these different things that it's an illusion because nobody cares. It's only temporary. But if you get out there and you make something happen and your dreams come true, you got them for life.
So, Troy, let me ask you this. Actually, I'm going to ask this question to both of you. I'm curious of your answers. I had a conversation with a friend of mine about how we push the narrative of education is your ticket. Now, stay with me for a minute.
Okay.
Because, of course, we know education is, you get what I'm saying? Obviously, education has its impact. But one of the things, just like I said, the breakdown of the rec center in our communities is evident. I think it's been one of the biggest losses. And I'm not talking about clearly y'all in the trenches row. I know what he's doing, but I'm saying how it impacted the rec was our community.
Right.
It was like your daggone food market, man.
Yeah.
It just meant that much. But I always felt we got away from the career development center. Because see, everybody ain't college ready. I got two kids. And one of my kids were college ready. I knew he was just an academic. He had that strength. But the other one had that entrepreneur spirit about that. I had to foster that. So when we pushing the narrative, one of the things I would like what I try to do in my mentoring efforts is to let the kids know that whatever your strength, because we're saying the same thing, Troy. First of all, we saying the same thing. But I've noticed with a lot of the kids I communicate with, that word in itself is so intimidating in its way, because some of the kids, when they hit it, you education your ticket, and they check right out because they haven't been in a competitive education environment, so they just don't think it's their ticket.
But
what's your opinion on that?
If college isn't for you, you may want to become an entrepreneur. You may want to get into a trade, but the basics. I'm not talking about an associate's or bachelor's degree or master's or a doctorate. A basic high school diploma on how to articulate yourself, how to hold a conversation, how to be able to think critically, how to, do basic arithmetic with your numbers. How to subtract what you're spending. Those basic skills will allow you to be successful. You ain't go to college, but just get the basics. Get your diploma, or you might want to be an electrician. You might want to be a plumber. You
That's
know,
right.
you might. I mean, that's fine. Those are
Bro,
great.
so what you think, bro?
Well, I'm
So,
like
bro,
this. I have a master's degree, so that's what I'm promoting.
That's right.
You see that? So here's the deal, right? Most coaches, like I'm a coach that was winning championships when I was a little boy. So I'm not living my reality through the children no more. So you got a lot of coaches that didn't even win no trophies when they was little. So they want to win a championship. I don't want to win a championship. I want, like you say, when you ask my children what is a basketball, they'll tell you it's a ticket.
Right.
Now, I'm promoting a bachelor's degree. I'm promoting a master's degree. I'm promoting a doctor's degree, right? This is what I'm promoting, right? Because that's what they need. You get it? And it depends on who the coach is. So most of these coaches don't have a degree, so they're not promoting it.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter, I'll give you a case in point. My daughter ran track for Poly, right? That's secondary stuff. My daughter played tennis for Poly. That's secondary stuff. So she went through Poly, and then she went over Notre Dame, and them little white girls was like, that nigga is smart.
Oh.
You get it? She went through Notre Dame so fast, like, whoa. Now she's a full registered nurse at University of Maryland Hospital, right? Full time. And that's what she.
Bro, let me ask you this though. First of all, let's welcome Greg. Greg, welcome.
Hey, how you feeling?
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing pretty good.
We
So
see you out there in our world.
we got to do this correct. First of all, Greg made these hats.
He ain't make this one.
He ain't make this one. Yeah.
Y'all be all right though. Don't make me pull out the wardrobe. But Greg is Mr. Dunbar. Baseball, but also U.S. military. And I just want to know one question. Greg, are you having a tournament under the dome this summer?
Yes, the Legends game will happen. We're getting it ready right now.
Awesome, man.
It's definitely gonna be the first Saturday of August, but we're getting it together right now, and it's gonna happen.
Okay. So Derick, you got to understand this is East Baltimore legacy right here, Mr. Greg Branch.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Donnie get me, man. Yeah, he gets me, man. Sometimes this grand, like we don't know nothing, man. We got legends all over this daggone screen.
Oh, no question.
Let me tell you something, man. It's a rite of passage for all of us to know. If you got a grandkid, you got a child, or idiot. I sent mine through Coach Rowe. I didn't even want to coach it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no. I'm gonna send you to Coach Rowe. You know, he gonna tough love you, cuss you out, give you a hug, and support anything you ever want to do in life. See, this is what Donnie, this is the conversations that we have is until our city leadership, and until we hold our city leadership accountable, by talking to the real people who are connected to our communities that can impact, that can make a real impact. So you can't just roll through, stand on the corner, take your photo ops, and roll out. If you really want to affect community, then here you go. Greg, how can you go in East Baltimore? How can you go in West Baltimore? How can you go AAU? How can you want to know what's happening on the high school basketball scene? What Troy's doing with his platform. How can you not pull those resources together for us to affect change? So until we start holding our leadership accountable, in terms of who you have to have dialogue with, who are these people? I was telling Donnie for y'all got on. I look at some of these polls and I'm like, who are they talking to get these numbers?
Yes.
Where is this 80% coming from? Because I talk to Roe, I talk to Donnie. You get what I'm saying? I have a pulse, at least a little bit. Who are they talking to? It's like on Family Feud. You see certain ads. I say, who did you serve at?
Right.
So, Brother Derick, I use this case in point. 10 children in Reservoir Hill can get in trouble. And you can call 10 parents, and those 10 parents will go to the school, and you might have to call those 10 parents again for those same 10 children. 10 children get in trouble in Reservoir Hill, you only got to call Coach Rhodey one time.
Correct.
And I'll go down there and represent 10 parents, and then you won't hear nothing from them children anymore. Because I'm going down there from the 60s concept. You know, I'm going to make like, I see little children, oh, give me 10 push-ups. Why your shirt is not tucked in? I see children shooting dice. I go grab the dice, throw them in a seal hole.
But you know, Coach Rowe, but you really justify, all you gentlemen justify my opinion on that, because you know, like I know, Ro, there's some people who you can go grab them dice if you want. Bye-bye.
Exactly.
See you won't see tomorrow.
Exactly.
See,
exactly.
So, and that's what I mean about community leadership. Who can have real doubt? Who can really walk up to the kids that's engaged in dice on the corner and they're not threatened by you or me, because they know how the place from which we're coming from.
Yes.
See,
yes.
And unless you're going to do that, most of the Baltimore City police, man, they from Frederick, Cumberland.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm Pennsylvania, York.
Mm-hmm.
I go
New York.
Yeah, they come in town
mm-hmm.
to police and they have no clue. No clue. You know
why?
why?
Let me get Greg in here. Greg, what are your thoughts on getting Baltimore City back on track?
Well,
young people.
I look at it this way. I look at where from the time that when I was in school, you know, we had auto mechanics, shop, printing. We had all that. That was part of school.
Trade school.
But you figure from the 70s and 80s, that's what we would.
He froze.
Yeah. Froze up. Greg froze up. Go ahead, Troy, jump in.
Well, I you know, for these, because I've been an educator in the school system for 17 years, and I've helped mentor and take kids to practice.
We'll jump back in a minute, Greg. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Troy.
But, you know, kids need to know you care about them, and they need to know that you love them. And if they know that, they will tolerate what you have to say to them. It might not all, because some of them are too far gone. And I've seen it. You know, I drive by, they up on the corners now, you know, and they still yelling at me, but I'm saying, boy, you out here. You know, I've been telling you about these corners for years, but you done made your way out here.
Yeah, but Greg, but I'm gonna tell you, Greg, he started hitting on it.
Trade.
I'm telling you, man, because that skill set, I know some guys that went to carve and all that when we was coming up, got trained, and them guys became electricians, tailors.
Right.
I mean, I can go on and on. And a lot of them didn't even go to school. Matter of fact, I would argue that a lot of them didn't even
earlier
pass debt.
That's what
by learning those trades. By learning those trades, that person can graduate and can eat.
Yes.
They ain't learning something. But the reason for them taking out was to hurt us.
Yep.
That was the reason why they took it out of the schools, was to hurt us. And by them taking it out of the school, Dunbar just came in a thing that was called a college in career. Because I heard you mention it early. And we had a thing where there was a lot of people that showed up and a lot of parents, because there's a lot of kids who don't want to go to college. They're not college material. So instead of spending and wasting money going to college, they can get a career. And they had people who were there who had to teach them how to get the trucking license, all free. They can send them to all these to teach them bricklaying and all this. They were at Dunbar High School 2 weeks ago, and the program is all free. Miss Eastep, Tracy Eastep, she led that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And she had it. And this is what I'm saying. You have a lot of kids today that's graduating high school, and they don't know what direction they want to go in. They know that already that they are not college material. So they're looking to get into some kind of career where they can go in, learn the basics, learn how to be HVAC,
Plumbers, electricians.
all that stuff. So the thing is, instead of putting a kid into college and he go to college and wasting his time because he know he can't pass, he's barely getting through high school.
Well, let's call it what it is. They're not even giving out the point. They're getting certificates.
Well, look
Exactly.
look at. I'm gonna tell you what's going on right now. What's going on in city schools? You can play football and get all D's and fail one class. That's not all D's are gonna give you a 1.0 average, but you can fail a class, and if you fail a class, you are eligible to play sports, and that's crazy.
Well, it's
So
crazy.
now, Mr. Boyd, look. So now look at this. You cannot play basketball for Coach Rodell in the rec setting with a 75 grade average.
I know that, bro.
You can't play no ball for me.
Right. Well,
So we setting our children up for failure.
Exactly.
Right? So now what we do, I have a male positive breakfast every Saturday. So prior to the pandemic, we was taking children to Coppin State College. Coppin State College will allow these children to set in a setting so they can see college is not that bad. College is no different than high school. It's just that you got a different curriculum. The only difference between college and high school is college holds you accountable for your own curriculum. High school, we're going to remind you you got your homework. That's the only difference. That's the only difference.
Yeah, okay.
You got a child who's experiencing college. Now, this child understand when the circumstances come when he in high school. See, he's not buying into that. I'm scared. He's not buying into that. It's hard because he already experienced a taste of what college is.
Agreed. Now,
if they're not informed, of course they're going to have that phobia about it. And that's what we're supposed to do as educators. We're supposed to promote it and alleviate any barrier that's preventing them from being successful.
Okay.
So if I'm a rec coach saying you cannot play for me with a 75 grade average, then how can a high school coach allow him to play and they fail?
Because you know what? Because the system, and this is where I would like Troy to jump in a little bit because of his experience at St. Francis. And
hold up for a second, Derick. Now, as a student of St. Francis, we couldn't play no basketball with no failing grade. I don't know about this new St. Francis stuff.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, what I was going to say with that role was the time that you impacted, where I look back and knew that I was impacted the most, okay, that shaped me the most was in those early years when I'm with Coach Rodell and I'm with Coach Herm down Betlow. And I see these people shaped me at a time where I could be shaped. See, by time, and even from my own personal experience, by the time I got to high school, the minute I stepped in high school, when I realized that's the first taste I got of politics. Now I'm in the real world. See, nobody coaching me up no more, bro. Ain't nobody coming to check. No. See, when I got to that level, the politics, that's when I started saying, wait a minute, this ain't fair. And then I started learning about life. The life ain't always fair. This guy had been up this school for 3 years. He a senior, and I couldn't figure out why he on varsity, and I'm not. And I'm in the 9th grade. Right? But I understood. That's when I understood structure. And there is layers to everything. See, the problem is, first of all, we got basketball schools, bro. Where
Yes.
least Mr. Branch talking about they least need D's. You can go to basketball schools where you don't even need a D. Just show up, let's ball.
That's
It
right.
ain't even about that. You got colleges lined up, man, who already got the route for you to come in there. These kids don't even know what they don't even know what SAT stand for.
So look, we got 5 minutes left. I gotta pose this question to the panel. Where is the give back? We've had a lot of athletes come through this city, yet I don't know one new damn recreation center. We did have Carmelo now, Under Armour, and took it out. Where's the give back, Troy Hackley?
Well, I mean, I think guys, once they become successful, they leave the city. You know, they got agents, they got buffers, you know, to keep them kind of away. And they do come back and create like a summer camp for a week or two.
No, man, a building, man. We need damn building.
Yeah.
Let me get there, Donnie. Let me get there. But
We only got 5 minutes.
okay, but financially, they're not making a commitment back to the community, and they gone half the time now. They don't even live here anymore. And so they're not giving back.
Come on, Greg Branch, you give back.
I do it, man, because, you know, man, it's what I'm supposed to do. I was put in that position so I can come back to help. And I try to do the best that I can. And I can't speak for nobody else, but I just know, man, that that was one of my wife's ideas of me giving back to the community. And now that she's not here, it falls under her foundation, so it's going to get done.
That's right, bro.
Coach Rhodey, where's the give back, man? You over there at the former John Eager Howard, one of the baddest wrecks in West Baltimore. And now they call it Dorothy Height. And the word on the street is your kids can't go to Dorothy Height.
Not even my children, me.
What'd you say, bro?
Right. Not even my children, me.
Hey, bro, I ain't gonna ask you why.
Yeah, you know, like you said, politics, man. But here's my vision. If a child come through a system and make it to the NBA or the NFL, that system should get compensated. That system should get compensated.
What do you mean, Rhodey?
So let's look at Carmelo Anthony, right? Let's look at a Terrence West. Let's look at a Will Barton. They came through the John Nigga Howard system too. Carmelo Anthony, what college did he? I mean, high school. I mean, professional team did he play for? The
Denver Nuggets.
Denver Nuggets. What was that coach?
Yeah,
What was the Denver Nuggets coach?
Yeah, I forgot.
Was it George Cole?
Yeah.
Whatever the coach was, Carmelo Anthony never rode in his car to go to a game. They rode in our cars. They threw up in our cars. They had bathroom accidents in our vehicles. I have never seen a professional coach yet get on their knees to tie their shoes. So we're the ones that's teaching them all of these fundamentals, but they're the ones that's getting all the money, and they're not really doing anything because by the time they get them, they already polished. So now you got a Dirk Boyd coming in the gym. You got a Mousy Boyd coming in the gym. You got a Marty Johnson coming in the gym. And these are your veterans that's teaching them how to come off of a screen, how to set a pick, how to shoot that foul line shot, how to stop on a dime.
Yeah.
But we're not getting the monies.
And that's why that's why I just pray our city, the leadership, get their stuff together, because just knowing a little bit about business, you got to have a infrastructure and a culture that people can bring money back to.
Yes.
Because you got to make it clean for them to bring it back. It's unfortunate we got a DC guy, God bless him. I don't want to say DC, PG guy, Kevin Durant, who's part of the ownership that's going to do the ring over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Royal Farms. I mean, come on. Anyway, man, we have Donnie. We got to get these dudes back on, man. We ain't even, man.
We haven't
Oh,
even
yeah.
scratched the surface. Hey, Greg, what can we do to support you? We're going to go from Greg to Rody to Troy. What can we do to support you? Start with Greg.
To support me, man, I would say absolutely nothing. All I need you to do is just be there and bring everybody to see the Legends. That's because this is going to be a phenomenal game all day, and it's going to be free for everybody in the city.
What's that date again, Greg?
Huh?
What's the date? You got the date yet?
It's going to be the first Saturday in August.
Okay, thank you, brother.
And it doesn't start until Donnie get there and bring his magic with him. And my sister say she got some food for you, boy.
Hey, Derick, I don't know what you're doing that day, brother, but let me tell you, his sister put it down like Big Mama, fried chicken, string beans.
Okay.
Dude, the string beans will make you cry.
Hey, man, it's good seeing all you brothers' faces, man. Sincerely, man. Respect to each and every one of y'all, man.
No question.
Come on, Rody, put your plug in.
Oh man, I'm just blessed, man. We just got our 501c3. I'm working with the children right now, man, getting ready for our summer. Tyrone Johnson is my cousin over at Dunbar. That's my cousin.
Yeah, I'm talking to him.
Yeah, so I mean, Donnie, man, just having me on the phone with Brother Derick. I was with Mousy Sunday.
Man.
You know, so I'm good, man. You know, I'm good, man. Yes.
Come on, Troy.
I can just say, okay, real quickly, watch our show every Saturday night, 12:30, My TV Baltimore, that we go around and we cover all the youth and the successful athletes and talk to them about regular stuff, not about being a millionaire and all that, but just life. And so our young people can relate and get attached to life on life terms. And because we're on a network that charges us, it's not free. If we can find, if you know anybody that wants to advertise their business, we will create their commercial for them and we will run them on TV. So if you have anybody that's interested in promoting their business, give us a call. We'll talk to them. We'll give them a price that's way cheaper than the major networks. As African Americans, we gotta, create things for ourselves and not always push things out there to others to create for us.
Hey Troy, give me your number because I'm gonna give my job. Your number is black owned and operated.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: the first damn ad sold on this show is gonna be the BlackUSA.news. Just so you know.
Oh my God. We're a different lane, Donnie. You're a print advertiser. I'm a media.
Is he on mute? I can't hear him. Is he on mute?
Yeah, man. No, I'm telling you, man.
It's enough for both of us, man. It's enough for everybody.
This 3-4 days a week, Troy. I get this, bro. 3-4 days a week.
Same shopping center.
What's your number, Troy?
Huh?
What's your number?
443
Troy.
631 0656.
Got it.
Hey, Derick, you ain't say nothing about PG County.
Yeah, well, I ain't talking about PG. I live in PG County. I mean, hey, bro, what he trying to do, man?
I don't know. Yes,
I'm Baltimore. Hey, look, what the genius, let me give y'all the genius of this is that the biggest coup my wife pulled off, she got me out, man. She got me out of PG, man. Look, I'm Baltimore, man.
Yes.
These my same friends. The only friend I made there is my barber, and he's still suspect.
Hey, Donnie, look, Derick was always mild spoken, man, always mild. So look, it was a little boy named, well, he ain't a little boy, but he was our age. His name was Lil Durrell, left-hand Durrell, a ball player, right? So Durrell talked trash to Derick. Man, look.
This dude.
Derick come up, John Nigga Howard, man, beat this boy so bad.
Real terrible, man.
Because both of them left-handed, right? Both of them left-handed.
Everybody got a Derick Boy story. I'm
That's my man, Jack. That's my man.
Hey, Don A. Seriously, don't do that. Don't do that, man.
That's my man.
Shout out to our guy, Tubby.
Yeah.
Much love to all of Baltimore. Derick, you want to say goodbye?
Hey, man, thank y'all. Tune in, man. Tuesday, man. You can see the type of guys we getting on that want to make a difference, how they make a difference, man. Respect to all of you gentlemen, man. Much respect, man.
Same here, brother. Love you, man.
Love you, brothers. All right.
We'll be back next week.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.